Hello again. Guess what? I finally have some shirts arriving slowly. A couple of packages there, but we will be opening those in a subsequent video. We still have the second part of the manufacturing brands videos that I'm doing. So the previous video was more of the popular brands that everybody should be familiar with. This time we're going to focus on the ones that are a little bit more obscure, the ones that don't seem to pop up too frequently. Now, depending on which country you're watching this video from, of course, these brands may be quite popular where you are. So don't think this is like as a dig against some of these companies. It's just that from somebody who's based in the UK, they're just not as popular and they're just not as prominent. Now, naturally, them falling into the top 10 suggests that they are actually doing something good. So if you are a football shirt collector and you maybe want to sort of broaden your horizons a little bit, I think you could do worse by buying some of these brands. Now, it's a little bit more difficult for me to rank them, so it's not really a traditional top 10. It's just these are 10 brands that I think you should maybe look into, because I only have one or two of most of these companies, so it's a little bit difficult to truly determine if they're good or not. So you can sort of rank them in any way, shape or form you desire. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let me know if you are familiar with some of these, and do you agree that some of these are sort of like the unsung heroes of football shirts? Anyway, hope you enjoy. Here comes the top 10. Right, so in 10th place we have this shirt, which comes from the brand RTL. I still have no idea how to pronounce that. And for those of you who have been watching my videos for a while, will recognise that I got this one from one of the mystery boxes that I last opened. And to be honest, that's the only time I've ever seen this shirt manufacturer before. Subsequently, I did a little bit of research, and I think they sort of focus on, at the very least, Argentinian clubs, which is what this Boca Unidos shirt is from. And I just really like the design. A lot of people have sort of made comments saying that they love the design. It is kind of different and unique. It's sort of like paint splatter, spray paint style running across the sort of the diagonals that are running down the front. The shirt, I think, if you were to buy it directly from the manufacturer, is actually pretty decently priced, but I don't believe they ship to the UK. I think I found some eBay listings, but they were quite highly priced. So I'm still not quite sure where the mystery box company got this shirt from, but I'm pretty pleased to have this in my collection. Vintage football shirts, I believe they have a shirt from this brand, and I've totally forgotten who it is, but it's got like a big sort of giant picture of a captain or a sailor on the front. Really nice. So those of you who like the sort of obscure and sort of weird designs, I would probably advise you to have a look at that and see if it interests you. So in 9th place we have Vacron. Vacron find themselves present on this list purely because they seem to be able to sort of offer uniforms and jerseys to more of the obscure nations, which as a football shirt collector who's trying to collect a shirt from every country, that is actually a real bonus. I was able to pick these two shirts that I have from Vacron, the TA and the Wallon NFC, thanks to my friend John, who supplies me with sort of shirts from obscure countries, and I believe he would have got these directly from the manufacturer. So they have an online store which you can buy a lot of their shirts, and it's one that I'm going to be paying close attention to, because I feel like if they're sort of working with Senegal, Gambia, whoever it may be, there's a good chance that they're going to start focusing on other countries, and I can start ticking them off on my collection. So for the shirts themselves, they're pretty simple. They're not totally crazy. The material is not super amazing, but it's very standard. And to be honest, what they do is all of the sponsors and all of the logos are all sort of woven into the material, which when I first started collecting shirts, I wasn't a huge fan of that. I thought it was a bit of like a cop-out, a little bit of a cheaper way to do it. But as I've obviously started doing it for a longer period of time, I understand how useful that can be, because you've got no sponsors that can sort of fade or crack or peel off. So it's a lot more easier for you just to store them, and you don't have to worry about them sort of getting more damaged. So I actually quite like that in a football shirt now. The material other than that is just, as you'd expect from a manufacturer. I was actually speaking to them on their Instagram, so they seem to be pretty open to a bit of dialogue. And the shirt prices are very reasonable. I think I picked these up for like £25. So if you were to buy directly from them, they are based in Turkey. With the Turkish lira being kind of not great at the moment, you can pick up the shirts, I'm sure, for cheaper than that. So give them a shot. So in 8th place we have Marwyn. Marwyn are a manufacturer based in Thailand, I believe, and it's actually one of the first manufacturers that I when I first started branching out from sort of the major leagues and started focusing on Asian countries, it was the one that I first stumbled upon. And they make a great shirt. Now the only drawback is that, of course, when they're focusing on Asian clubs, sizing can be a little bit more difficult to get the one that you require. This one effectively is medium, but it's a little bit tighter. So I suppose if you are looking to get a Marwyn shirt, think ahead and maybe get, I think this possibly maybe still says medium on the tag. So if you want a more looser fit medium, I would definitely go for a higher size. But I just like the designs. A lot of the ones I have, cool. So I've got like this interesting one with like the flaming bats floating around. I have one which has got like a windsurfer on the front. I have the one which has got like a tobacco thing on, which is a bit weird. But for shirts that, when they were first released anyway, on classic football shirts, they were like £19, £18. They were really cheap. It was a great gateway into finding about all these weird and wonderful manufacturers. So I can't really say anything negative about them. I'm not 100% certain if they're still active. I suppose I'm not all that into Thai football, so I'm kind of just relying on what classic football shirts bring in. But I don't believe they've brought anything in for a while. So fingers crossed they are, and maybe in a few years' time we might have another drop, and hopefully I can pick up a lot more cheap Thai shirts. When I say Thai shirts, of course, I mean literal clubs based in Thailand, and not Thai shirts, the fake option that some people seem to like. In 7th place, we have MBB, who are an Indonesian brand. Now, I wasn't certain if I should add them to the list, because from what I can tell, they kind of don't operate anymore. They have a website on the tag, but it goes to like a weird blog that talks about nothing in particular. And from what I've searched online, I can't find them, which is a bit of a shame because the shirts that they have made are really nice. Like this one from Syria. I just think it's really nice. The small downfall, I'd say, the sleeves are very tight. So if you've got any level of biceps or triceps, you probably want to get a size bigger. I thought it was quite interesting how, for some reason, they decided to swap over the crest. So the crest is on the right breast and the manufacturer is on the left breast, which is interesting. But you can see from all the details, you've got the compass going on in the front. And then I have my other shirt of theirs, which is the Indonesian club Persiba Balikpapan, which has got the bear on the front. So that's kind of crazy and wild. So it ticks the box. And the fact that they're able to supply me with a Syrian football club, I mean, that's just worthy of inclusion already. I never expected to get that sort of club. So it's a shame that they no longer exist. But maybe in the future, they might make a reappearance once again. Some more dead stock might appear. In 6th place, we have 14. That's literally what they're called. They're called 14, and they're a Swiss sports manufacturer. And I only have one of their shirts, but by virtue of it being a club from the Lebanon, I kind of feel like I have to include it in this list just because of that. With regards to the quality of the shirt, it's actually really very nice. It's kind of what you'd expect the Swiss to be able to do. Really good quality material. Very durable, a little bit more weight compared to some of the other manufacturers we've seen, like the Marwyns are a little bit more sort of lighter material, which some people prefer. But this one, you can just tell the quality just a little bit better. Good detailing. I like the stuff running off the sleeves, the the sublimated crest, very nice. And they seem to be able to branch out into different clubs. So they did Cerveta in Switzerland. They did Rapid Bucharest in Romania. They do another team in Lebanon, and then they do another team in a country that hopefully I should be able to buy, though I'm going to have to buy it directly from their website, and it's an expensive shirt regardless, and then you throw on top of shipping and then potential importing. It's going to be a pricey one, so I'm going to do that one maybe later on in the year, maybe if some sales appear, if that ever happens, because I do need to take off that country. But I really like the shirts. Classic football shirts, got a few of them in, and I think they've got a few still available. So if you're interested in buying one for maybe a little bit more obscure nation, I would probably try and look at 14, and you won't be too upset with it, I wouldn't have thought. So in 5th place, and we're starting to get some real beautiful football shirts, is this Pek Zwolle shirt from the manufacturer Robey. Robey are a Dutch company, and they seem to currently at the moment only focus on Dutch teams, so Pek Zwolle. I did also at the same time buy a Sparta Rotterdam and a Willem II shirt, but for whatever reason, this one came with tags and the other two didn't, so that's kind of annoying, but if we ignore that, they absolutely know how to make a beautiful shirt. So all 3 of them I have are actually really, really nice. But to be honest, luckily the one that did come with tags is my personal favourite. I just love, firstly, I love the button collars. Always a winner in my opinion. I like the fact that they've got the sort of the historic uses of the logos, all the previous iterations. Nice little touch. The material is just really high quality. Just feels really nice. Just very durable. I just like the design. I mean, obviously it helps with the club. They use a good colour scheme. Blue and white is always a winner. But I feel like this shirt is just one of the best sort of individual pieces that I own. And also the price was actually really good. When I purchased this one, it was like £23 or something around about that. I know Subside Sports had a few from this season, Robey ones, and they were obviously priced quite highly at the beginning of the season. They all sold out, I believe, and I was tempted to get some, but because of the tag issue, I sort of laid it aside, and I'll just focus on getting some if they appear in the clearance once again. But for those of you who are interested in getting Dutch football shirts, I would absolutely advise you to look out for Robey and buy some of their sort of equipment, because it's good quality. In 4th place, we have this wonderful shirt from Chinese brand Ukan or Ukan. They are a sort of manufacturer that primarily initially focused on the Chinese league, which kind of makes sense. You've got this one from Diane Transcendence, who subsequently no longer exist, but they designed this shirt for them, and it is absolutely stunning. Ignoring the fact that I love gold anyway, so gold sponsor. You've got this very interesting sort of wavelength pattern style design running on the sides, which I've never seen before. The material is, if I was to pass this to you blindfolded, you'd probably think this is a Nike shirt. Now, I'm not saying anything about the Chinese or anything like that. I understand that they're keen to take inspiration from many different things. It's very possible that they've taken inspiration from Nike on the styling of this shirt. It just feels like it's the exact same material. So based on that, I rank it quite highly because it's going to be very durable. I think they've started branching out of China. So they've started working with Adelaide United in Australia. So I feel like there's every chance that this company could start becoming more apparent. And maybe because obviously currently China are just trying to get into anything and everything, you might see them sponsoring maybe a big European team or maybe just some European teams, which if that happens, I'd be very keen to own some of those shirts, because this one is really nice. I kind of wish I'd got the home version, because this is the away one. The home one was even better. But just to be able to have one of these shirts is really nice. So yeah, you can definitely looking forward to seeing what they come up with next. And sneaking into the top 3, we have this wonderful shirt by Indonesian brand Reds, another Indonesian brand, and it seems like it's just part of their culture to just put the most amazing level of detail on a football shirt. Quite possibly the most detailed football shirt I own. It's of the Indonesian team Persiba Bantul, and I remember I purchased this from Classic Football Shirts quite a long time ago. Maybe one of the first Asian shirts that I owned, and when it arrived, I was like, whoa, this looks so much better in person. Like when you can see it online, you can think, okay, I can see this funky design looks really nice, but you couple it with beautiful material. I mean, I've never really seen leather before on a football shirt, so you've got this sort of a authentication patch in leather, which is very nice. But it's just so intricate and so detailed. I love the gold. I love the sort of the fading of the colours. Really nice. Finding information about the company, a little bit more difficult. It took a while for me to even find a logo for this for my website. But when I finally found some of their stuff, it seems like their approach to football shirts is very similar to this. The designs are kind of all very unique, very bespoke, very detailed. I was hoping that some more might appear on classic football shirts as the years went past, but all it did was appeared for this same club again. So maybe this is their primary sort of brand that they're associated with. But if you ever get a chance to buy one of these shirts, I would highly recommend it because it's beautifully put together, and yeah, Indonesia for sure know how to make a football shirt. And in second, we have the South American-based manufacturer Wallon, or Wallon, which one? I have no idea. And they are based in Peru, and this shirt that I have here is Huancayo, a Peruvian club. I have two shirts. I have this one from Huancayo, and I have the Strongest from Bolivia. Both of these shirts were picked up from Subside Sports, and they seem to be basing, sort of focused their attention on South American clubs, which makes sense. And from what I understand, they're actually quite popular in that part of the world, but over here in the UK, I've not really seen them other than the two shirts that I own. The detailing and the quality of the shirts is beautiful. It's really nice. Can't go wrong. Prices were actually not that bad. I think this shirt was like £45. The Strongest was maybe £50, which, considering the sort of the travel that the shirts had and how kind of obscure and rare they are, that's pretty decent for what you're getting. I'd be pretty pleased to see if they sort of branched out into the European market. I have a feeling that they've done some stuff with like a Swedish amateur club, but maybe I'm just making that up. But I really like it. I love this sort of sash and how the sponsor fits inside that. It's kind of a unique idea. But yeah, in second place, for sure, definitely deserve to be here. I have only two shirts, and I will definitely look forward to finding a few more. Wallon. And in first place, we have Diane, or Diane. I still know how to pronounce that one either. And they were/are a Spanish football shirt manufacturer, or should I say sportswear manufacturer. They did a lot of stuff with like superbikes, motorbikes, etc. And it probably isn't a surprise to see that these lot are first, especially with me being a fan of kind of crazy, wild, kind of garish styles of football shirts. There's probably not one manufacturer that does it better than Diane. This is obviously a shirt with, people like to think it's peas, but it's actually just sort of a zoomed in version of a broccoli floret. And of course I have the one with the ham on. I have the one with the Gibraltar sort of rock on. I have the one with the sort of horse on the front. And I say were a brand because when they first had their shirts appear on classic football shirts, I think it's because they kind of went bust. Now, I actually purchased a few prior to them. I actually bought them directly from the manufacturer, and they were really, really good to speak with, and they were very good at sort of doing the sizing and then sort of tags, etc. And then they kind of disappeared. However, me being very nosy, I was searching on Instagram, and I came across their newly created account. And they were focusing on the superbike stuff and the motorbike stuff, and I dropped them a message. I says, are you guys going to be jumping back into football because you guys made some of the best shirts around? And they were sort of saying, well, we do have some things lined up in the future, so keep your eyes peeled. So, fingers crossed, they're going to start branching out into probably Spanish clubs once again, and maybe we'll get some more shirts like this. I think as football shirt collectors, you know, you're going to hate it or you love it. I love this sort of thing. It stands out. You know, it's meant to be just a little bit of fun, I think. And it's a great way for our club to raise a little bit of funds. Because if they were just to release a very standard sort of style shirt, they're not going to get many sort of sales outside of the area where they play. Whereas if you do a shirt like this, then this club is going to get quite a decent amount of sales from people like myself across the world who are going to be intrigued and interested in this style of shirt. It's kind of cool and weird, isn't it? But that's it, really. That's my top 10. As I said, any of these sort of shirts can find themselves sort of anywhere on the list. It's not really a ranking, just more of these are 10 brands that you should go for. A few of them no longer exist, or potentially no longer exist. So a lot of them you might have to pick up just sort of on the used side, which if that's what you're into, then for sure go for it. But But that's kind of it, really. I think I've got like 71 manufacturers in my collection, so I've only referred to 20. So that means there's another 51 that kind of don't really stand out for any particular reason. I was thinking of doing a video for my least favorite 10, but if I'm really honest, there's not really 10 that I hate. But I suppose I could be convinced to try and do that if it's of interest. But yeah, let me know what you think. How many of these do you recognise? Do you agree with some of them? And if you do have some of their shirts, let me know what teams you have them for, because you know, like I said, I've only got 1 or 2 for a lot of these brands, so it'd be cool to know what other teams they've worked with. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. It will be a brand new shirt. About time I can finally open up some packages, and yeah, it's going to be a good one to start off the influx of shirts that I've got coming my way. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.